Hey, this is Wendy with Next Level Board Games, and today we're going to unbox Trekking the National Parks, which is a game by Charlie Fink and published by Underdog Games. So I actually have the other game that's similar to this that they published, the Trekking the World. Trekking the World? I think that's right. Which is a very fun game. This game came before that, and yeah, I know, I have it behind me somewhere. Where's it at?
Other side.
Other side. Ah, ta-da! There it is. Okay. Super fun game. This game I think is similar, but also different. So let's find out what's inside. First, let's get rid of the plastic. So, first thing I notice is, let's see if I can not drop all the components. The fact that on the sides there are parks that are, I'm going to guess, included in the game, which is kind of cool. Oh, lost something already. These are all different. Oh, arches. I've been there. Very cool if you haven't been there. Very cool. So each side has two different parks listed on it. Here's some marketing stuff. And then the rule book, more national parks. Oh, more information about national parks. That's cool. One of the things I love about the first game, or well, first to me, but the second game in the series, and also this game I think as well, is the educational aspect of this game. It's a really cool way to learn about great places to travel and things that you maybe haven't seen, and to also learn information. So small rule book here, just like the other game, the Trekking the World. Because there's not a ton of rules. This is an easy game to learn. It's very fun to play. There's some strategy to it for sure, and you can play like quasi-aggressively by blocking other players with movement, but you can also just sort of be off in your own area doing your own thing. So it's a very fun family game. It would be appropriate for pretty much anybody in your group. Oh, sticker, I think. Cool. Okay. So first, here's the board after the rule book. Let's see how big this is. Pretty big. All right. As you can see, there's all kinds of different parks here, national parks. Many of these you've probably been to. I recognize some that I've been to. Obviously not enough of these as I look, but definitely I've been to some of these, and probably you have too. So there's that. Here's a little leather pouch. Oh, that's nice. I'm going to guess that these stones, which there's extras. Oh, extra stones. Huh, okay. So these stones are going to get put, I'm pretty sure they get put in here because this is how the other game works. And then basically these go on different locations, and as you travel around, anywhere your little meeple stops, you get to collect that stone, and then you can use those to help you win victory points. So these, the way you randomize them is by putting them in the pouch and then drawing them out randomly and sticking them on the different locations. So that's those. And then it looks like there's some extras. So I don't know if this is if you lose some, which might make sense, or I'm going to guess it's if you lose some. I don't know what my or would be. Oh, there's some cards too. Then we've got a whole bunch of tokens. Wow, really big meeples. I love the bear. That's adorable. Put him up there with his little bear thing. Now I need, you know, a squirrel and a deer and a pigeon and a rabbit and a buffalo, I guess. Yeah, I need way more. Here's some moose over here too. Okay, so here's our little
expansion.
There you go. Expansion opportunities. So here's our meeples. These are, like you can see, they're all the same. So in Trekking the World, they are slightly different. Each meeple is a little bit different. They're also a little bit smaller. So these are really like oversized meeples. If you can see, like, they're in my hand. My hands aren't that small. They're pretty big meeples. So that's a good sized. And then I put the bear back in the bear place. Looks like we all start in the same place. And then we have tents as well. So along the way, let's see, I'll have to find the cards, but along the way, you're going to try to earn some of these locations, basically. And when you do that, you put your tent there. So there are, I think they're called major. Let me look at the rulebook really fast. Just double check that. Major park cards and regular park cards. So each game you're going to have 3 of these 6 major park cards, and they're going to be randomized. And each player has correspondingly 3 tents. So in each color there's 3 tents, because you can acquire basically the major location, the major park location. Each player can get 1 time on each of them. If that makes sense. I think I said that the really long way around. But basically you can get each one of those once. each player. So that's why you have 3 10s. And then they have the regular parks, and you can get any number of those. Although I suspect there's a maximum number before the game end triggers, just like the other game. Okay. Oh, and player aids. Look how big these are compared to regular card size. Nice oversized player aids just for comparison. Oh, cool. So symbols, that's nice too, to show you what the symbols are, and then also what you do on your turn. So that's really cool. Those are fun. We love having those. Even if the game is not super complex, throw in a player aid. We love it as players. So helpful. Okay, so here is like I talked about. So these are going to be the major parks, and there are 6. And so then these look like this. This makes sense. Here's some of like the most famous, right? Yellowstone, Hawaii, Grand Canyon, places most of us have heard about. So these are going to be the major parks. Again, these are going to be randomized, and you'll take 3 of them for each game. And everybody, these are the ones where if, so say we were here, we went there, Acadia, and I actually am not familiar with that one. So I don't know where it is. I should have picked one I know. Grand Canyon. Oh, look, they have red marks around them. Look at that. How easy is that? Okay, so very cool. So the ones with the red, there it is there, around them are the major parks. That is really cool. They did that on the board. How easy is that to be able to find for, you know, people like me who don't know where every single one of these are. And then we have also the regular ones. I think there was like 39 of these. Let me see if that was right. 39, which is kind of an odd number, but that's just what it is. So there's 39 other parks, and there's a small little description underneath about each of those as well. So kind of tells you the name of it, the kind of the area it's in, or the state, and then also a little bit about it. So like here's Arches, which I mentioned earlier. It talks about that park and why you might want to go there. So there's those. So these are going to be random, you know, obviously shuffled, and then you'll randomly try to collect stones from these locations, or collect these locations as well, right? Collect these cards. And that's going to happen by turning in the trekking cards that match these symbols. So each one has different symbols. So like this one would require 4 cards, but is worth more victory points than the last one, which required half the cards, half the victory points. So that's kind of how these work. So, but you have to be in the location to be able to acquire the card. So that's what makes that kind of challenging. And also the movement can be challenging because you can't just pass right past somebody. Then let's see what else. Oh, here's some little tiny cards. Oh, and these are the Most Stones Awards. Okay. So these cards, oh, by the way, I didn't actually show this, but yay for inserts. Thank you. Again, small touches. We love the small touches. So these are awards for second and then most. So if you have the most of any one color of the stones, there's 5 colors, as you saw earlier, or the second most, you can win awards at the end, victory points. So these would be off to the side, and as you have the most, and usually there's a minimum number, then you get to collect these, and at the end of the game, if you still have them, because you still have the most, you gain those victory points. So those are nice. And then last but not least, we have our Trek cards. I think that this is the last thing. And the Trek cards are your movement cards, if you want, by using the numbers on the card, or they can also, get rid of all that, they can also help you acquire the cards like I was just talking about a few minutes ago. So these symbols also match the symbols on here. So you have to have, like for this one, I would have to have the paw, the fire, and the boot. So if I discarded one of each of those cards and I'm in the Badlands in South Dakota, I can claim this card, and then at the end of the game, it's going to be worth 7 VP. If I'm not in a place where I'm collecting something, I can use these cards to discard and get movement. So like if I discarded those 2 cards, I would move 6, and I can't move 3, I can't move 4, I can't move 5, I have to move 6 if I discard both of these. So you have to move whatever number you discard. That's how much movement you have to make. You can't, you know, overpay and then, you know, go less. So that's one of the things that makes movement a little bit trickier in this game, but I actually like that because it makes the game a little bit more challenging. And I think that's actually everything that's in here. There's not a ton to it. This is one of those games that's pretty quick and easy to set up and easy to learn and fun to play. There's a little bit of education in it, and there's just enough like strategy in it for people who would sometimes otherwise get bored. And also there's not a ton of actions to choose from, so typically the gameplay is pretty fast. So it's not one of those games where one of your players is sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, when is my turn coming? So that's another reason why we like it. So that's pretty much everything that is in Trekking the National Parks. We got a bunch of stones that go on locations that are going to help us earn victory points. We have really cool park cards that describe and talk about the parks a little bit and talk about their locations along with the map. And then major park cards that are going to randomize the game a little bit more. A bunch of Trek cards for movement, some tents for our people in case we're able to actually get the major parks, some small cards with some motivation to get certain groups of set collection stones, right? And player aids, which we love. And last but not least, these really oversized meeples, which I can't, explain enough how big these are. And last but not least, I love the black one because you don't often see black as a player color. So if you have somebody in your group that likes that color, which we do, it's really cool that they have that as a player color. And very, very last, the bear. That's so cool. I love the bear. I wish there was one for everything, but that's pretty cool. So that is everything that's in Trekking the National Parks. Thanks for watching Next Level Board Games.